looking forward, looking back. I've come a long way down the track, got a long way left to go, making songs from what I know, making sense of what I've seen. All the love we've had between you and I along the track, looking forward, looking back. There are strange days full of change on the way, but we'll be fine. Unlike some, I'll be leaning forward to see what's coming, looking forward, looking back. I've come a long way down the track, got a long way left to go, making songs from what I know. If I'm alone at night, I can see through all triviality of the day, and I'm okay. I just think of those who are dear to me, looking forward, looking back. I've come a long way down the track, got a long way left to go, making songs from what I know, making songs from what I know, looking forward, looking back.
We are gathered here today to celebrate the life of Robin Joseph Reeman, known to each and every one of you as Tom. And I bet you're all grateful it wasn't yesterday afternoon. Tom passed away last week after a courageous health battle that took a huge toll on his body. But today he's at peace, no more struggling. And today we will honour Tom's memory and give thanks for his life. And we will reflect on all he was to each and every one of us. My name is Leslie Davis, and on behalf of myself and the staff of Parkside, we would just like to offer our condolences and our thoughts to each and every one of you who've lost a friend and lost a family member. At this point in the service, I'd also like to acknowledge those that are joining us online, and it's great that you can be with us too. There's a poem in your program today called When I'm Gone, which has been chosen. You're welcome to read along with me if you want. If not, just hear the words. When I come to the end of my journey and I travel my last weary mile, just forget, if you can, that I ever frowned, and remember only my smile. Forget unkind words I have spoken. Remember some good I have done. Forget that I ever had heartache, and remember I've had loads of fun. Forget that I've stumbled and blundered and sometimes fell by the way. Remember I've fought some hard battles, but I've won ere the close of day. Then forget to grieve for my going. I would not have you sad for a day. But in summer, just gather some flowers and remember the place that I lay. And come in the shade of the evening, when the sun paints the sky in the west, stand for a few moments beside me and remember only my best. Today we gather in quiet reflection to honour a man whose story remains in many ways unwritten in our hearts. He was the loved and loving husband of the late Diane, loving father and father-in-law of Mitch and Courtney, and pop of Ruby, Oliver, Indiana, and Elsie. He was the treasured brother and brother-in-law of Alan, who you know as Lanky, and Marlene, and Graham you know as Shorty, and Eula and Judy. He was the precious Uncle Tom of Jennifer and Daryl, Matthew and Danielle, Susan, Justin, Braden and Alyssa. And he's also the loved uncle to other nieces and nephews that I've not named today. Though we may not know all of the chapters of his life in great detail, we do know this. Every life is a tapestry, each thread is valuable, and each colour is unique. It is natural in moments like these to wish we had more memories or stories to share, yet perhaps the truest tribute is not in the details we lack today, but in the care that we bring to his farewell. For he was, above all, a father, a grandfather, a brother and a friend, and he was someone who lived among you. Tom was raised by a loving grandmother known as Granny Jackson. He was the youngest sibling to Alan, Graham and Judy. Now, Granny Jackson's arms of love were so big that she had 14 of her own children, and when needed to assume the role of primary carer for her 4 grandchildren, she stepped up to the mark, and there were even 3 others that joined the family at one time. It was a crowded house, but it was full of love and acceptance. Tom was raised in Smithton and went to the school locally, and when he was older, he was called up for national service and did his training at Puckapunyal in Victoria, but thankfully he never had to see active service overseas. He later on was employed by Britons for over 30 years. In 1977, Tom was to marry the lovely Diane Polk. And while there's no one here today to tell much of their love story or share some of the adventures they had or the challenges, there's one thing that we know is that they were blessed with a son named Mitchell. As we said before, Tom was a complex man, a bit of a loner, quite content with his own company. And he loved nothing more than sitting out in his shed, drinking a Bogues or 2, listening to his beloved bulldogs play. Now, I'm told Tom was also a very keen punter on the horses, and though they say that mostly he won, it appears that Tom was one of the lucky ones. Such was his skill at evaluating the odds and understanding the form and the fitness of various horses. He was also keen at Keno, I'm told. I believe one of his proudest moments in life was when he, along with his 2 brothers, played their first senior game of footy with Scotchtown. And that's a photo, I believe, that's in today's program for you. And he was so proud that it was on his wall. When Diane passed away in 2019, life for Tom was never the same. Diane had been such a strong and loving support for Tom that when he had to finish up at work, being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, Tom's brother Alan was there to lend support to him, but after a couple of years, it was decided it was best if he moved to Edmonton Park so that he could have the full support that he needed. He didn't really want to go to Edmonton Park, everyone knew that, but he did understand that that was the best option for him at the time. I asked for some feedback from the staff at Edmonton Park for some insight into Tom's life in recent years. And this is some of their comments. I'm told he was often giggling when he had conversations with the various staff, and the laughter was contagious. He had a cheeky and a fun personality, but he also had a dry sense of humour. Tom kept busy reading the Sun and the Advocate newspapers, and it kept him up to date with local and international news. He did tend to keep to himself and rarely came out of his room, unless there was a community event to join with. But I'm told that there was one recently that he enjoyed when it was Gina Timms, the country and western singer. She came and sang at Edmonton Park, and he's got a photo that he had when he was with her. He thoroughly enjoyed that day. He enjoyed barbecues in the courtyard, or recently introduced cooked brekkies at Edmonton Park. He also enjoyed going for little walks when he was able. Listening to his radio, He enjoyed the heater very much that various staff felt they were stepping into a sauna when they walked into his room. But obviously Tom was comfortable, and that was the main thing. He thoroughly enjoyed when he had visits from family and friends, but especially his brother. He also enjoyed his little soirees going to Stanley for ice cream with Stephanie Gale when he could. He loved his fish and chips too, and he loved to skite when he got back to Emerton Park of the treats that he'd been able to indulge in. One memory that he shared of the times that he also had was of Tom and Daryl Kay would do burnouts at Christmas time in a little red Ford car. Now, I'm not sure who the audience was for that, but perhaps you can ask each other when you get back to for refreshments. Tom apparently enjoyed fishing, most of all whitebaiting. So I know it's a little late to bother about getting a licence for such activities, but hey, he thoroughly loved eating his whitebait patties. He may have been a little dismissive of rules and regulations that most of us have to adhere to. He was most upset when they took his licence from him because of the illness. He was known to say, "I can drive as good as anyone." So he considered that he would just drive a little while no one was looking. A bit late to go mad at him, hey? In later years, Tom very much enjoyed sharing Christmas and Easter with all his nephews and nieces. He was often known to tease his great niece Elisa by saying, "Hurry up and get your licence so you can take me around in my car." Which one's Elisa? Fair enough. Okay. Now, these are just a couple of stories that I've been able to rake up, but the fact that you are all here, you've all got stories and special memories, and I encourage you to share them when you get together later on for some refreshments, because while you share those memories, he's not gone. On behalf of the family, I would like to express our appreciation for the love and the care that Tom received while at Emerton Park, and a very special thank you to Dr. Popiel for his great care as well. To each one of you who've turned up on this not so sure weather day, thank you for coming out and braving the weather. You are all invited to join the family after today's ceremony to share some refreshments at the Gentlemen's Club in Smithton, and I know that would mean a lot to the family. A poem that was chosen called Our Brother. As kids we lived together, we fought, we laughed, we cried. We did not always show the love that we had inside. We shared our dreams and plans and some secrets too. All the memories that we share is what bonds us now to you. We grew to find we have a love that is very strong today. It's a love shared by each of us that will never fade away. You are our brother, not by choice, but by nature of our birth. We could not have chosen a better one. You were the best on earth. So many stories could be told today, and you know them well, and I'm not even touching the surface of the memories that you hold dear. A quote I read recently said, "Goodbyes are only for those who love with their eyes, because for those who love with their heart and soul, there is no separation." For those of you who are able, I invite you to stand. We are coming to a time of committal. In this moment, let us offer gratitude for the life Tom lived, for the days he saw, and for the gentle reminder that every soul deserves dignity and remembrance. May he rest in peace. Our collective memory hold him kindly, even if the details remain shrouded in time. We come into this time with a range of emotions as deep and complex as the man we are remembering. Today, we choose to remember the good times, dust off some memories and show our respect. A time to be born and a time to die is called the circle of life. Today, we have honoured and remembered a man who has finished his life here on earth and is no longer in pain. It is now time to say our final goodbye to his earthly body. And so, Tom, we say to you, we commit you to your final rest, and we bid you rest in peace.
This proud to come this far down through the years to where we are side by side, hand in hand, great land we've done us proud. I sailed the sea in search of freedom. I tilled the soil for seed to grow. I built fences to hold the cattle. I mined the earth in search of gold. I sheared the sheep of golden fleeces. I formed a union to win fair pay. I built a railroad to cross the country. I fought a war on the country's sake. We've done us proud to come this far, down through the years to where we are, side by side, hand in hand. We've lived and died for this great land. We've done us proud. I kept a home and raised a family. I taught your children as if my own. I painted pictures to show the beauty. I wrote the stories to keep the flame. We've done us proud to come this far, down through the years to where we are, side by side, hand in hand. We've lived and died for this great land. We've done us proud. We've done us proud. I work the factories, I work the land, I build the houses, I make the plans, side by side. I drive the highway, I ride the dawn, I reach the glory, I sing the songs. We've done us proud to come this of the West, red, white, and blue. We come out snarling, bulldogs through and through. Bulldogs bite and bulldogs roar. We give our very best, 'cause you can't beat the boys of the bulldog breed. We're the team of the mighty West. bulldogs roar. We give our very